All
Stream
right,
are
so
a
I got to
bit
start
glitchy
this
tonight.
off.
We pay y'all too much money for these glitches. But sorry, go ahead.
Before I start this off, I got to say Chuck is on Twitter wilding right now talking about the MCU. This nigga just said someone asked, what are your controversial MCU opinions? And he said Iron Man 3 is good and Civil War is a thrown together nightmare.
Nah, like I don't understand that Iron Man 3 is good take because it's not.
That's like when people.
It's not.
That's like when I hear people say like the Off the Wall is better than Thriller Truthers. That's one of those opinions that I just don't share, and I'm just like, all right, I'm not saying.
I mean,
trying to be
off the wall is better than Thriller though.
See, here you go. Here you
I
go.
mean, I just like the vibe of Off the Wall better.
Off the
it's
Wall,
a preference thing. It's a preference thing.
Musically, Off the Wall is musically more advanced than Thriller. Like, yes, but
what nigga? Okay, what are we talking about there?
Like, nigga, you know how many smashes are? Never mind. We're not finna do this. We're not finna do
We're
this.
not about to do this
on here. Speaking, welcome back to Politics Usual, episode Quattrenta. Is that 40? In Spanish. Episode Old English. Episode 40 ounce.
Yeah.
The gang's all here. We caught Fee on one of his off days. He's back after 3 long months of here go Chuck in the comments. Wilder. Fee's back after a 3 long months sojourn. How are you, sir?
Hey man, I'm fantastic, man. Everything's good. But on this P5, y'all niggas follow me. Y'all can on Twitch. You can see me getting fucking sold in 2K in the park.
Yet?
Yeah, I've been back in there.
All right, bet. Because I tried to get on. I tried to get on earlier and play with this nigga in the park because they was offering double rep and niggas the goddamn shit gave me a fucking error. I thought I got banned because
Appreciate it, Chuck.
I came up. They accidentally gave me 100,000 BC twice. I thought the niggas had banned me. I'm like, this ain't even my fault. I ain't asked for this. But anyway, Ronnie's here. It's the week before Turkey Day. I'm off for the next week. I actually be in Birmingham next week. I
should have took the whole damn week off, but it is what it is.
Shit, nigga. After drive, I drove down the day before Thanksgiving last year, and oh my god, that Atlanta traffic was never again. So, but I don't know what we talk about. We had I guess we'll start with the we started off on the verses. We can get to Chuck's point a little later in the show.
Yeah.
The verses of Gucci Mane and Young Jeezy, where we found out the rap game is run by Vince McMahon apparently. I wasn't even keeping track, honestly, because like I'm biased. I don't know enough Young Jeezy songs to like really give him points on, like outside of like his chart toppers and feature. I don't know enough about Jeezy's music to actually like give him any credit in the thing. So Jeezy for me was going to win that handily. Although I did like the negativity. The negativity was wonderful.
Oh yeah, and that was for people saying that was scripted. Nah, Gucci Mane went off the cuff there. Like he
definitely did.
Like Jesus was like, hey man, I thought we were cool. Where this coming from? Like, so that was not scripted at all. So
my favorite part was Gucci asking Stacey Abrams could she wipe his record clean. That was hilarious. and then when he started off, this is round 1 of Gucci Mane versus Jeezy, and stared dead at that nigga while he was rapping this bars. I'm like, oh, that's the disrespect I'm here for. That's what I needed. What I needed. What'd you think, Fee?
I'm there for the disrespect. Like, honestly, going through that versus, I know a lot of people are gonna say Jeezy won, but I was more impressed with Gucci Mane's versatility and the range of projects that he picked from. Like, Young Jeezy was mainly picking between Trap or Die and TM 101. Like, that's where a lot of his songs were, and like a lot of those rounds where he was still stuck on those 2 albums, I was giving to Gucci Mane. Like, I was feeling him like, hey, bro, play some newer shit. I don't know. I just enjoyed Gucci's energy more in the verses, man. I like the way he was pressing that man, the way he was looking at this nigga, getting his diss tracks off, talking shit about the diss tracks. And to the people who are saying that Jeezy is trying to be the bigger man, if somebody sends somebody to kill you, I'm never being the bigger man, nigga. There's no way that you can get me to be the bigger man. Like, you people are fucking high and you're outside of your minds telling somebody to be the bigger fucking man. Like, you guys are crazy. He's put 10K on this man's head, bruh, a bounty, and you're telling him to be the bigger man. And then the crazy part about Jeezy is you can't just expect somebody to sweep that shit under the rug and come here with this fucking olive branch. Like,
I hate to cut you off, but this is a big thing. You put a hit out on that man. So if it were successful, you would be on stage with this man right now. So that's something you can't exactly nip in the bud. So I mean,
and then he's talking about rest in peace, Pop Smoke. And if it was up to you 15 years ago, we've been saying rest in peace, Guwap. So nigga, please miss me with that, bro. I wasn't feeling Jeezy on that, bro. Like,
I just kept laughing at the fact that this nigga said, like, every time Gucci would end, he say, "Oh, we talk about classics, huh?" No, we're not. No one said anything about classics. This nigga Gucci like play something new. "Oh, we talk about classics, huh?" What? And then he said, "Nah, we talk about outfits. I own half of Atlanta." Somebody actually went and pulled the real estate records for what Jeezy owns. He owns 2 properties in the Atlanta area.
But they were saying a lot of some people did some further research and they were saying that the property he owns is like in his kids' names, and then under his LLCs he has a few properties.
Yeah, I mean most people don't buy property outright direct. That was just hilarious to me that somebody. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't really score it. I was just here for the constant Gucci disrespect. That shit was fucking hilarious, and how disappointed so many people were when they performed so icy. Because like I'm with y'all. Like, I do think that Jeezy was under the impression that Gucci was over it. Like, he would give him some little sneak disses there, and then they would do icy, and it would be a big moment. But like when that nigga said, "We smoking Pookie Loke right now," like you can tell that man Jeezy was like, "Hey, bro, hey," that they kept saying, "Hey," like every time he said, "Hey, I know one thing." He was like, "Yeah, that man." And I agree. Like, someone tweeted this earlier. They said, "I can't say Gucci's disrespectful because no one's ever tried to kill me," and I'm like, "That's fair.
Yeah,
that's very fair. No one, to my knowledge, has tried to have me killed.
Right.
And I can't say how I would react if somebody tried to have me killed."
And to go into the story, like, because I don't think people know the full story. Jesus said 4 men at this dude. He said 4 men at Gucci. So I mean, it's 4 against 1, and Gucci, luckily, I mean, he's still with us today, so he had to do what he had to do to be here. One of Jeezy's people ain't here today. He's probably looking up mad as hell that Jeezy is allowing this disrespect on stage. But I mean, so at the same time, I mean, I understand that Jeezy is in a different mindset, but you got to understand Gucci like overcame an attempt on his life, so that's something you can't exactly sweep under the rug.
I mean, that's like when white people be like, "Yo, get over like racism and systematic oppression." Like, no, you can't tell me to do that.
Absolutely not.
You can't stab me and then ask me to be the bigger man. Like,
absolutely not.
But that was weeks ago, motherfucker. I'm partying. Like, that's basically the energy that Jeezy had. And he like, man, it was 20 years ago. And Gucci like, nigga, was 15. It wasn't 20 years ago. Like, when he kept saying 20 years, I'm like, that wasn't 20 years ago.
It was not 20 years.
Nigga, it don't matter when it was, bro. Fuck that shit, nigga. You tried to have me off, bro.
Yeah. What Chuck said. So he said, keeping the buck even after the last moment, I expected violence at the event. So yeah, I was like, please don't go to the after party. But luckily, everything was cool as far as we.
Yeah, it was a bunch of niggas standing around breathing in the coronavirus.
Yeah, breathing in Big Rona. Big Rona was wild.
Shouts to Lee, who knew that Fab was predicting the future on Breathe 15 years ago. He was rapping from the perspective of the coronavirus. Yo, these niggas can't breathe when I come through. They have to react like having an asthma attack. These dudes are wheezing behind me. Like, they shook up and hooked up the respirators on their last breath, talking to investigate. Like Fab was on to something, but I saw something earlier. Somebody, Keisha Kaori tweeted how proud she was of Gucci for overcoming that and all that. And somebody tweeted her and said, "Man, that nigga wouldn't sit down the whole night. I know a nigga with a gun on him when I see one."
Said that nigga had an AK under the coat, bro. And I like the subliminal messages that Gucci was sending, like, yeah, nigga, this outfit costs $10K. Oh, which happened to be the price that you put on my head. Oh, let's talk about jewelry. Oh, you sent these niggas after my chain. Nigga, look at all these fucking chains I have on. Like, Gucci ain't no dumb nigga. I do think the better verses would have been Gucci Mane versus Lil Wayne, though.
Yeah, and I think the better verses would have been Jeezy versus T.I. I mean, yeah, it was cool watching that last night, but Jeezy versus T.I. would have definitely been like a better matchup.
I definitely agree. Like, I get it, like this was, historical, whatever, and seeing them perform Icy and all that, that shit was cool. But like, yeah, styles make fights, and this was more about like a beef than it was really about like having a good matchup. But like speaking, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, the people who say Jeezy won is funny to me. The people who say Jeezy won are people who have never been in the trap. And then people who say Gucci Mane won are like real live street trap niggas because they relate. like to me, Young Jeezy makes mainstream trap music as well as T.I. Like Gucci Mane like is underground trap nigga shit. And yes, Chuck, Gucci versus Wayne, because of their mixtape catalogs, those niggas have probably the most extensive catalog in hip hop. So I think it would be a better versus, like, because they could do mixtape and album cuts.
And there's a lot of trash in Wayne's catalog. His catalog ain't as good as people might think. So yeah, I agree there. Go ahead.
I was about to say, let me get a point in about Jeezy. To me, Jeezy's catalog was, especially like the front half of it, like from TM 101, then the Inspiration, then the Recession, then TM 103, and then the mixtapes in between. Like he really has some good work there. But thing is, he doesn't have a lot of hits there. Like the Recession is an amazing album. Like I think the Recession is a classic album on its own. Like Jeezy was really rapping on the album, but like you ask the average person, like, okay, like what's your favorite 3 tracks from the Recession? They like, I don't know. So that's why he had to pull a lot from TM 101 because that's like that's widely regarded as a classic. So all of his hits come from that one album. Like you could listen to that album straight through and know every song. So I think that's why he had to pull heavily from TM 101. So yeah, like I think that's why it was like it was kind of lopsided, and it would have been better if he matched up against T.I.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. But speaking of lopsided catalogs and beefs and styles making fights, the next verses was announced, and apparently we getting 50 verse game.
I believe when I see it.
So if this happens, how long before 50 pulls out a documentary track? Number one, to claim that he wrote it, but 2, to irritate the game.
Nah, 50 is
that's got to be within the first 3 tracks, right?
50 is gonna do something so petty that the game has no choice but to attempt to fight him. Like it's gonna, like, and he might do that with the first track because, like, I don't trust this one bit. Nah,
I don't either.
Nah,
go ahead, Fee.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really like it. I mean, it makes sense. I don't think 50 will let it go too far because 50, like Jeezy, the front part of his catalog is what's gonna be heavy. So he'll probably just play all the Get Rich or Die Trying and maybe 2 songs off the Massacre, and he'll probably win. I would have rather seen 50 Cent and Ja Rule, even though I know that'll never happen. But
that definitely will never happen.
Honestly, I think Game got enough quality and recent stuff to like make this close.
Oh, it'll be interesting. The Game, I think the Game has a better catalog than 50 Cent.
Oh yeah, like the Game has like one of the best catalogs in like hip hop, and that's like not a reach at this point. So the game could pull from stuff as recent as like Ali Boumaier and from Jesus Piece but what what's 50 gonna play? Yeah, what's 50 gonna play from like the last like 10 years?
Like documentary 2, Big Rich Town. But like, yeah, he can play stuff off documentary 2 and documentary 2.5. Even that album 1992 he made wasn't bad. Like
that 1992 album was fire. Yeah,
like Game, despite his recent dickheadedness and creepy behavior, like his, I mean, what is his worst album? Probably like Red or LAX.
It's Red, and Red is still a good album.
Like Doctor's Advocate is fire, and
yeah,
I couldn't stand this nigga Game. I would have picked this nigga up from Mississippi, where he was training with the military, and he put in that Doctor's Advocate, and I was like, oh, all right, yeah, this shit fine.
Hey, let me get a take off real quick. Like one of the most underrated but hardest albums. Hardest tracks on that Doctor's Advocate. That Compton song with will.i.am. That song is hard, man.
I skip that shit every time.
Nah, that song is hard, man. It has like an early 90s like West Coast vibe. I used to skip it too, cause I was like, man, I don't want to listen to damn will.i.am. But then my homeboy had to school me. He was like, nah, man, will.i.am came up under Easy E. Like he was legit before he started wearing those damn creative what them shoes called, them Creative Commons? But yeah,
Creative Right.
But nah, like I remember, but Compton is fire, man. So yeah, like, and that just shows how versatile he is, and much to his detriment sometimes, because he's like a chameleon and he copies styles. But nah, man, you could like really drop the game in like any type of track, any type of environment, and he'll thrive. And 50 is like pretty limited in that regard.
50 is one of those rappers that he is carried by his production. So when he has good production, he has the chance to sound great. But otherwise, I don't even know if he sounds dated, because even when he was in his prime, he rapped like a Southern nigga, quote unquote.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
I was reading something earlier, and it said that Stat Quo was saying that almost all the beats on the Get Rich or Die Trying were Rakim's, but Rakim couldn't make no hooks to him.
Wow.
So like
that was like In the Club was supposed to be D12 song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found out DJ Quick actually did like some of the drums on In the Club.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Stat Quo was saying like Dre wouldn't release any of that shit for Rakim because he like, nigga, you can rap your ass off, but these songs ain't good. And he said 50 came in, he sent them shits to Fifth, and the rest is history. Who in the world had the mic hot for a Stat Quo comment?
Yeah. Hey.
I forgot all about
Stat Quo. Was fucking nice, bro.
That Quo gave us some bars on those. What was that Eminem compilation album?
Damn. What was it? Shady XV?
Yeah. It was like Shadyville or something like that. I can't remember. But no, Stat Quo had some bars, man.
I can't imagine In the Club with D12 doing it. That would have been. I mean, 40 ounce was dope.
I can. Rest
in peace to Proof, but like I can't imagine D12 on. Chuck says I'm a Stat Quo. Come on, like that's like I forgot all about Stat Quo till I was looking that up, because somebody said something about was talking about Young Buck being in G. Oh, it was Joe Hova. He was talking about Joe Code. He was saying like Young Buck being in G Unit never made any sense. And somebody was like, yeah, but he was played by Terrence Howard at the end Get Rich or Die Trying movie. I was like, wait, what? I was like, that was supposed to be Young Buck. Bama was supposed to be Young Buck.
Nah.
Like, hold on, man. That don't even sound right.
I'm from Alabama, man.
But Young Buck would be the nigga to try to shake somebody naked in the shower. Would. Like Young Buck was always rapping about shaking niggas. Like every feature Young Buck had for like a 2-year span, he would shout out the artist whose song it was to say, hey, nigga, I'll stab a nigga for you if need be. Like
yes, trying to stab somebody at the Source Awards.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing, like shooting somebody is one thing, but you know how crazy you gotta be to try to stab somebody. That's like close range. So Young Buck was really like and that's why like on with 50 cut him and he was on the phone crying. Like at the same time this dude is crying, I felt him. He was like, "Hey man, I stabbed niggas for you, man, and you gonna do me like this."
Hey, G-Unit, why G-Unit always fucking niggas up at award shows? Like they got Gunplay too with the classic.
Oh man, they carry gunplay like a carnival,
like
prize.
A rag doll. Like every time I see that picture, I'm like, hey, they told Gunplay
draped over somebody's shoulder, man.
Like they carried that nigga out like he was a dirty rug. Like, like every time I see that picture, like G-Unit told Gunplay.
Man, you see those pictures of people and friends with the beret and they had the baguette over their shoulder, man. That was Gunplay, man.
Listen, man, they told that nigga Gunplay don't get carried away, and he didn't know they meant that shit literally.
Like we really need that. Do not get carried away.
They picked that man up like a sleepy toddler and flung that nigga against the fence. Like, say whatever you want about G-Unit. But them niggas get active at award shows, goddammit. Oh shit, we got anything else on the verses?
Nah, that's it for the verses.
All right. I guess now we can get to Chuck's asinine remarks. See, I missed that point. Compton is fire, AJ bugging. Yeah, I'm bugging it. If I'm bugging about Compton, you bugging about Iron Man 3 being fire, goddammit. That is not a fire movie. That movie is ass.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man 3 is, for my money, might be the worst MCU movie. That shit is irredeemable.
I don't know. The first Captain America is pretty bad to me. I don't really like it. The first Thor I don't really like either.
See, I grade those on a scale because they didn't have the same resources. So actually, like when I found and when I went back to like watch like the first Captain America, I was like, it was okay for the time. I mean, it's a comic book movie, so I grade those. But Iron Man 3 is butt cheeks.
Like
Iron Man 3 is terrible.
Like they rushed Thor and Captain America so we could get to the Avengers. Like they were like, all right, we need to put these movies out so we can't just have Captain America and Thor coming out of nowhere. So like, I mean, they monetized what would have been the best part of the film, which was them like going through Europe, him and the Howling Commandos going through Europe, beating niggas' asses and turning the tide of the war. Like they monetaged that shit so we could get to the end and get that nigga in the water so that we could get to the event. That's all those movies were. So I don't. But Iron Man 3 has no excuse. Like that was after Disney. Go ahead, Pete.
He might have the worst 3 movies out of the niggas who out of like him, Captain America, and Thor. He probably,
you know who has the best?
Captain America,
easily.
To me, I think Thor has the worst because at least Iron Man 1 is fire. Like Iron Man might have the best individual villain like outside of Loki and Thanos with Obadiah Stane. Like for what it was, the timing of it, like everything that it meant. I give Iron Man 1 a lot of props, but like Thor 1 is cheeks. Thor 2 had so much promise.
I'm about to disappoint you. I'm gonna Thor the Dark World of Truth through, man.
The potential for what it was there, but that
fight scene where they're going through the 12 realms is like one of the top MCU fights. I think people sleep on that. But here's the thing. No, absolutely.
See, Captain America might have He might have two out of the 5 best. He might have 2 out of the 5 best movies in the MCU. Captain America, like
the
Winter Soldier and Civil War are top 5 MCU movies.
Yes.
Winter Soldier is one of the best comic book movies ever. Like take MCU out of it, like it's top 3 or 4 at worst. Like that shit is fucking phenomenal. But like, Chuck hates Civil War, so that you like I love Civil War for working with what they had to do that movie. Like I like it. The only thing
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about Civil War is and once again because of the huge moment that we got from it. I mean, I can excuse it, but the way that they had to like sloppily like insert Spider-Man, but at the same time, it was fire seeing Spider-Man in the MCU movie, so all is forgiven. But the way they set that up, and you think that it's going to conclude in one way, but the Russos talked about it. They was like, nah, like it's actually better leaving Captain America and Iron Man alive because now they have to deal with this fallout. And then if you watch the movie with that in mind, like the conclusion of that fight is even better. So nah, man, Civil War is absolutely fire. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like,
that shit was crazy. The only thing we were missing was a Red Hulk sighting because that was rumored because of the toys. Like we get Red Hulk in there, and that shit is even more crazy. Like, yeah, nah, I can agree with Chuck that it's essentially an Avengers movie, but Cap drives the plot. Like Cap's actions drive the plot, so I get it. I totally understand. I love that movie. It's one of the MCU movies that I can rewatch in perpetuity. I watch it whenever it's Avengers, Civil War, and Winter Soldier get watched whenever they're on. Like I'll stop what I'm doing to watch those.
Mm-hmm. I have an irrational hate for Civil War because it completely fucked up the story.
I mean, so I look at Civil War and that story the same way I look at Ultron. Like, I don't like the use of Ultron as a story. Like, because to me, he should have been the next big bad after Thanos. But I understand why they had to do it, given what they were working with at the time. So I don't get mad at Age of Ultron because it's the culmination of Phase 2, and that was the best that they could have done to cap off Phase 2, even though I feel like he should have been saved for something else. Like I would have liked to have seen like them go up against like Dormammu or some shit, which is another way when I feel like.
And all of these movies in a way have like pulled from like several different runs and like we said is basically like the Ultimates universe, but it's pulling from several different influences and like kind of mashed together. So with what they were given, they really made the best out of what they were given. So I understand that when people hear Civil War, they expected to see Civil War, but to me, this is the MCU Civil War, which still makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Because it would set up from Age of Ultron when Tony and Cap were in the front yard of Clint's house and they had that argument. It was set up then. So this is you got to
set up back in Avengers.
Yeah, right. So, this is MCU Civil War. This isn't the Civil War story that we've read and we've loved. Like so, I think taking that into account, that's why I'm kind of like I understand like we have our Civil War purists out there who expected to see that, but with what they were given and so many characters, like I mean, we aren't gonna see like Hercules, so there's like so many characters missing. There's like so many characters missing. So
or just introducing somebody haphazardly just to get like this big, this big moment. Like it like introducing Spider-Man was hard enough. Now I will say Chuck brings up an excellent point.
Kang the Conqueror is only here to bring in Fantastic Four.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. And might set up Reed Richards being black. Although I still want John Krasinski as.
I think I want John Krasinski, but it's from like some people in the know, like it's like the worst kept secret that they're looking at like Sterling K. Brown for Reed Richards.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay,
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
that. we're just gonna totally forget that he was at Black Panther.
Right. We're gonna totally forget that he's Killmonger's dad or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
No, Chuck, like I agree. So Chuck, what I think they're doing what they're doing with Kang is they're bringing him in to set up the Young Avengers because we're getting the mutants. We're getting the mutants through WandaVision somehow in the multiverse of madness. Like, however, the multiverse of madness, when the dust settles, the mutants will be in the MCU. I'm putting whatever money
right down there on Krakoa.
Right. Wait, what?
That's how they're gonna bring them in, because right now the mutants are like on Krakoa, so they're gonna through WandaVision, they're going to do some type of multiverse shit, and then all of a sudden the mutants have been on Krakoa the entire time, and they're gonna end up on this Earth. I feel like that's how they're gonna do it.
I thought they were just gonna bring the multiverses together and mutants would somehow end up existing, but that would work too. I think when the dust settles there, that's what's gonna be that, and then you got to remember they're bringing in. They already set up having Stature as Joe.
And by the way, if you don't know what we're talking about, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, I feel like they're the perfect Reed Richards and Sue Storm. So, but we may not get that. So,
which would be terrible. But you know, Sterling K. Brown, Reed, I'm still with that. But so if they already gave us Cassie Lang grown up via fucking Endgame, we're getting Speed and Wiccan via WandaVision, and we're probably getting Kate Bishop via the Hawkeye series. So all you're missing is Iron Lad, Patriot, and Hulkling. We've already been introduced to the Skrulls. They're a friendly force in this universe. So you have the Young Avengers. So I feel like Kang the Conqueror is being set up so that Iron Lad can come back through. I personally thought Doctor Doom. I feel like Doctor Doom should be the next big bad of this entire thing. But the best actor to play Doctor Doom is already in the MCU. So,
yeah.
Though I would like to see them call Michael Fassbender for it. He would be my second choice.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, Fassbender would be such a great Doctor Doom.
My first choice is Benedict Cumberbatch, easily.
Yeah. Because
the shit he can do with his voice, you got to have a powerful voice to play Doctor Doom because he's behind this mask constantly. So you
and it's wild to say this about. And go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Nah, go ahead. I was done.
Well, I was about to say, and it's wild to say this about Benedict Cumberbatch, but because of like just the stature he has as an actor, but he was actually the third choice for Doctor Strange. Like if you don't know,
they wanted Joaquin Phoenix.
They wanted Joaquin Phoenix, then they went after Ethan Hawke, so he was the third choice. Actually, yeah, I
would have actually liked to have seen Ethan Hawke in this, but I mean, like I'm done with the MCU anyway. Like a good Fantastic Four would bring me back in temporarily, but I've already seen, like, to me, Infinity War was the apex of what they could do movie wise. Like I've seen it. I got to see all the shit that I waited for from the minute I left the theater watching Iron Man. So I'm good. The only thing I want to see done correctly is for DC to get off their ass and give me a decent Justice League universe. That's all I want.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Shouts to the Snyder Cut.
Nah,
that picture of Deathstroke, man. Listen, Ron, I'm aware. I know it's like eating something spicy. Or it's like being lactose intolerant and eating some ice cream. You know the ice cream gonna fuck with your stomach. It's gonna have your stomach doing the Y2C, and it's not worth it, but you're gonna eat it anyway. And that's what the Snyder Cut is for me. I know the Snyder Cut isn't going to be good. It is going to be objectively bad on so many levels, and I am here for all 4 hours of that terribleness.
I know you talked about the picture of Deathstroke, but did you see the picture of Steppenwolf that they released?
Yeah, that shit looked like a PlayStation 2 cutscene, but
exactly,
we in there. We here.
We are not. We're not.
Here. I'm here. I'm in there.
We are. You are.
Hey, listen. If it gets me more Batfleck, I'm with it.
I mean, I'm cool with Batfleck, but this ain't it. This is not gonna be it.
Fee, why you shaking your head, man?
That you loving this man Ben Affleck, man.
I don't even like Ben Affleck. I just like his portrayal of Batman. It's everything I ever wanted to see in the Cape Crusader live action.
Yeah, like, and that's where they fucked up. Like, why couldn't Zack Snyder just be over Batman? Like, why they have to give him the entire universe? Because he wasn't ever cut out for Superman. He's definitely not cut out for Justice League. Give him a solo
Superman to get Batman.
I know, I understand that. Yeah. But yeah, like because when you think Justice League, how can you it's actually impressive to make a bad Justice League movie, and that's what we're gonna get when we see the Snyder Cut.
Justice League. I mean, we already got it once with Joss Whedon.
I mean, yeah, it's not gonna be any better. Is what I'm saying.
Like we Justice League is supposed to be like at its core, like the Greek pantheon, but in modern times. Superman is Zeus. Wonder Woman is who is she? Hera or is she no, Wonder Woman is Athena. Fucking Green Lantern is Hephaestus. Batman is Hades. Aquaman is Poseidon. Flash is Hermes, and I think they say Martian Manhunter is like Dionysus or Apollo, one of those. But whatever. It's supposed to be like a bunch of superpowered, minus Bruce, people coming together, superpowered and or super wealthy people coming together to solve the world's problems that they can't take down alone. Like, it's hard to fuck that up, but Zack Snyder found a way. But I am here for it. It's the Joe Budden gun, and I've been waiting.
Like
did you watch
that? Really gonna hype this up just because it's not the Joss Whedon cut, but they're gonna realize that. I'm gonna realize that there's really no difference. What you know what? I wish Zack Snyder would have been able to put his Justice League out because it would have been ass. It would have been ass. It would have been ass. And he would have got fired, and they would have corrected the universe in the right way. But now what I think is going to happen is like fan pressure is going to, like the DCEU isn't dead. Fan pressure is going to push them back to creating, because there's already talks that Henry Cavill is back as Superman.
Which means
Batfleck, I know.
You need more Batfleck. We need more cowbell. Fee, did you watch Justice League?
You talking about the DC, the live action one?
Yeah.
I watched it, but it wasn't nothing that I was going to probably watch again.
DC has probably 2 of the 8 worst superhero movies of all. Actually, 3 of the 8 worst superhero movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Suicide Squad,
mm-hmm.
Catwoman, and Justice League. Those are some fucking
stinkers.
Oh, I forgot all about that one. Like, what was the movie that got released that people were saying was like so bad? I was like, that's nowhere near as bad as fucking Catwoman and the first Hulk. Like, y'all remember the first Hulk movie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga was jumping through the desert for an hour and a half, and you had Hulk dogs. What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, and I love Ang Lee, man. So I was like, man, Ang Lee about to give us some fire. Like, he's about to give us
fresh off Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Like, he had the juice.
Apparently he did not, though.
Fuck that up. Like, it's just Hulk jumping in the desert through canyons for an hour and a half, fighting Hulk dogs, being chased, and then his dad like can control water or some shit. Like, what the fuck is this?
Ain't nothing as bad as Dragon Ball and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
We don't acknowledge the Dragon Ball movie, man.
Y'all know Dragon Ball was written by a black dude. That movie.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
we got to take the blame for that. I was blaming white people for this shit. And somebody was like, nah, a black dude wrote that. I said, what the?
Nah.
Nigga, how this happened?
He need to go sit somewhere else.
Ron must be taking a break. Yeah, nah.
Our table.
Nah, Dragon Ball Evolution is like, I actually tried to go back and watch it because I was like, maybe it's not as bad as I remember.
Nah, it is.
It's worse than I remember.
Yeah, it's bad.
When that nigga Chow Yun Fat show up as Master Roshi and start talking about some damn win key and all this, I was like, oh no, nigga, cut this shit off.
Yeah, so I don't know, some like animes, they just never need to be live action.
No, like anime, there is something about like the essence of anime cannot be captured in live action. Like I tease people all the time about watching like dubbed anime, but I get it because you can passively watch dubbed anime, but like there's something about like what the Japanese do in creating anime and voicing anime that just don't translate well to English, and the damn show don't translate well to live action. Like you can't do it. Like, I just want them to stop. Like, they're making a Gundam live action movie, they making an Akira live action movie. Like, stop. They're making a Naruto live action movie. Like, no one asked for this shit.
Have you ever
oh, go ahead, Fee.
No, I was gonna ask, have you ever watched the Death Note live action? I think it was on Netflix.
Well, Lakeith Stanfield?
I don't know who was in it. I just
Lakeith Stanfield and like
black dude from Atlanta. They had a black dude as
L. I know who he is. Oh, okay. See, I never watched it. I was curious to see if it was any good.
What I would actually say is Lakeith Stanfield as L worked in its own strange way, but the movie was terrible.
Well,
The movie was straight up butt cheek. This nigga Chuck gonna say, but Fast and Furious exists.
Yeah,
Fast and
I mean,
them niggas going. Me and Chuck predicted last year that they was gonna go to space,
man.
and these niggas going to space now. Like, I just wish they cut the pretense and make these niggas they own like government agency that was given like super serums or some shit. Like, I'm waiting on the Transformers to show up. I'm waiting on Optimus Prime to show up and talk to Dom about how important family is.
Man, aside from like 2, not 2, but Tokyo Drift.
Bow Wow.
Like the Fast and Furious, like up until like maybe 5, I was okay with them niggas making movies. Like when they brought Vin Diesel girl back, I'm like, even though I was like, how the fuck does she live? I was kind of that was kind of some shit out of left field, but they kind of tied it together, so I wasn't mad at it. But now these niggas,
and
the
then
main
these niggas
characters ain't the main characters no more. Now you got all these fucking off-brand niggas, The Rock coming in. Jason Statham. I'm like,
oh no, he wasn't bad. He was acting out of love for his brother, and he was being blackmailed. Oh, and let's give Letty Dom's love child because his mom died, and that like seriously,
yeah, bro. They just took it too far, man. Get your bag,
I'm about
though.
to disappoint Chuck, but I haven't seen anything beyond Tokyo Drift. Yeah, I haven't seen anything beyond that because
Fast 4 is good. Like
Fast 4 is
really good. Like that was a return to form. Like that was critically acclaimed. All that shit. Fast 5 was alright. I think that's the one where they went to Brazil. And then like in 6, I think was the one where they jumped out of the Burj Khalifa and went into another skyscraper with a car. I was like, all right,
y'all wild of that.
Which one that Paul Walker dog was that 6 or 7?
7.
Yeah,
6 was decent. 7. I just felt dirty watching 7. I'm like, y'all just gonna put this movie out after this man died, man.
I mean, that I understand, but you know they so they were supposed to bring old dude back from Tokyo Drift, the main character from that, to kind of fill the hole left, but all his scenes were cut in 8, so now he's coming back for 9. And so yeah, he's gonna be in. I'm like, just don't bring Bow Wow back with him. I still watch him because like they're so bad that they're good, but like y'all know me, cheap explosions and the
action
enough action. I'll watch it.
But they just need to leave that shit alone, or take a break, man. Like go take you like 5-6 years, like Mission Impossible do. Like they'll take about 10 years off, and then here come Tom Cruise doing some crazy shit again. Like damn, where's Tom Cruise?
But this boy Tom Cruise is recording. He's making 2 movies at once right now. Like in the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Like somebody had a video of like Tom Cruise like hanging off the side of a train like 2 months ago. Like he's really out here.
Chuck just brought up an excellent point. I forgot these niggas is bringing Han back.
Yeah, I did see that in a preview. Yeah,
like we talk about the MCU not having those stakes. These niggas will bring anybody back. How you bringing Han back? Like that was these niggas went across the globe fighting niggas to avenge Han, and he out here,
bro. Like when shit happens like that in the movie, and you develop these feelings of being pissed off, and then you bring these niggas back, like nigga, you just invalidated my feelings I had back there. You just made me waste some emotions for no reason. Like nigga, I was really pissed off that this nigga got killed, and now he's back. Like what was I mad for back there?
Not only that, but the other thing was like, it was set up in Tokyo Drift for that to happen, and then you see him in 5, either 4 or 5, and you know that all these movies take place before Tokyo Drift. So we were waiting to get to this. Like we had to see Han die twice if you watched all the films. Like you knew it was coming, and then he just showed. And Chuck's right. Like they shouldn't have put that shit in the trailer at all. It's like, why would you do that? Now I know he's back, and I'm mad about it.
It's one of them things because you want to see how he's like if they tell you he's back now you want to see how did this nigga get back?
I mean I was gonna watch anyway, but like
But for the people who getting tired of these niggas, like, hey, y'all niggas is being unreal, not putting them in the trailers, like, I'll catch it when it come out on video. Now you're gonna be like, God damn, I gotta take my ass into the movies to see how the fuck this nigga done got back. Like, where the fuck did he come from? Dog, you was dead 3 movies ago. Now you coming back? Like,
it did. Like, and Chuck, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they said they ended it with either 10 or 11, and it's like all I want them to do is just abandon the false pretense of this being grounded in any form of reality. Like, tell me that these niggas was all part of some super soldier program when they was kids, and they just happened to come together through the machinations of Mr. Nobody, and that's how they accomplish all these superhuman 12. So they stopping after 12. We got 4 more movies to go, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Like, just abandon the false pretense. I want this to be a super soldier program, make these niggas government sanctioned, and just let them continue to do a bunch of bullshit. They think I'm Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise running in every movie.
I be with that too.
But like, yeah, I want them to abandon the false. Like, if we gonna go there, let's go all the way there. If these niggas can go to space with no training and accomplish missions that the United States government's best black ops paramilitary teams can't accomplish, just tell me these niggas was a part of some super soldier program.
So basically, they the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, like, just give me that they was kids, they got experimented on, they went through this shit, but their minds got erased by the military, and Mr. Nobody brought them back together so they could accomplish all these amazing feats that nobody else could.
Who directs these movies, like these Fast and Furious movies?
So Justin Lin has been directing like the last few, and Justin Lin so he created Han's character from this movie called, what is it, Better Luck Tomorrow? Or Better Luck Next Time, or something like that.
Oh, you talking about does it have a blue cover on it where they was like gambling or some shit?
Yeah, it's like about these Asian kids in high school.
Oh yeah, that's a fire movie.
So he came from directing that. Yeah, Better Luck Tomorrow. So like he started off directing that, and like it's got a blue cover on it, and so he's been the one that's been directing like the last few. And then they talk about giving this nigga a Star Trek movie, and I'm like, just take these niggas into space and call that like
because
Star and the Furious.
The only reason I was gonna ask is because they need Michael Bay, bro. If you just gonna have all this nut ass shit happening, just go bring Michael Bay in there to cap it off, bro.
Matter of fact, I want 12 to be directed by Michael Bay and Zack Snyder, because I just want nothing but slow-mo shots and big ass explosions through the most ridiculous shit happening. So somehow, because they're gonna put a car in space. Somehow, Vin Diesel gonna have
like SpaceX.
He gonna have some Dodge muscle car in space, and is gonna use that to like win the whatever they doing. Like somehow, and he gonna have a speech about family while floating through space. Nothing's more important than family. While he revs up and defies the law of gravity, driving this muscle car out of a spaceship, and we gonna somehow hear the engine revving through the vacuum of space, and he gonna use it to crash into the shuttle that's about to like nuke the world or some shit. Like, and no one in here can say that that's not exactly some shit that they would do.
Nah, it's heading there, man. It's heading there.
Dom, how can if you miss, you won't survive. I have to do it because
it's for the family.
Nigga Dom gonna hop onto the back of a spaceship with a fucking his skin gonna be peeling off. He gonna have a metal arm like Terminator. Like,
nigga gonna be out here like the Winter Soldier.
Hey man, if Dom has been a robot this entire time,
I mean, it wouldn't shock me.
Oh man.
Like, I'm pretty sure that was the theory when they found out he had turned on his friends. They were like, nah, Dom, that must be a clone of Dom. That's a robot. They kidnapped the real Dom. Because that's some shit that they would do.
But here's the wild thing about Fast and Furious that nobody even remembers. Do you know what Fast and Furious is like a remake of?
It's a remake?
It's a remake. I'm not making this up.
I had no idea.
The original Fast and Furious is a remake of Point Break, but except of Surfer Gang is a car gang.
Keanu Reeves Point Break?
Keanu Reeves Point Break, yes.
It all makes sense now.
They wanted to remake Point Break, but instead of a surfer gang, they wanted to have a car gang.
Hey, speaking of surfing, you know what we need a remake of for the streets? Surf Ninjas.
What's that? Yeah, I can get with that.
But get a little brother a Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We need that. Have my nigga Kino from motherfucking Ninja Turtles in that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And people wonder why I love ninjas so much. Like my whole childhood was defined by ninjas. Ninja Turtles, Surf Ninjas, Three Ninjas, Power Rangers had a ninja season. Like by the age of 10, I had seen like 19 ninja movies and series.
Yeah, Double Dragon. They only had one fight scene in it, and it was like the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Sidekick with Chuck Norris and that other dude that wanted to be a ninja.
Yep, I forgot all about that one. Like people wonder why I have an obsession with ninjas. It's all I saw growing up. Like even the first Power Rangers movie was them becoming ninjas.
And that's the most powerful one. Yeah.
Actually, my sister showed my my niece Three Ninjas, and my niece was like running around the house asking for swords and shit. I was like, you can't show her that. She was like 5 at the time. I'm like, she can't be watching Three Ninjas. She might be prone to violence. You gonna come in the house, she gonna jump behind the door, shit, trying to kick you.
I had an uncle who collected like weapons, and one time me, my brother, and my cousins were like, we want to be Ninja Turtles. So I grabbed the sides, my brother grabbed the bow staff, my cousin grabbed the sword, and we was outside fighting. And then my dad pulled up like, hey, like these are real, so what are y'all doing?
Oh wait,
he
had real ninja weapons just laying around unsecured.
Yeah,
how old was y'all?
Yeah. I was like 5 or 6 at the time.
What?
Yeah, that could have ended really bad.
That would have been like that South Park episode where them niggas bought ninja weapons and a star got stuck in Butter's eye.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That would have been just like that.
It would have been terrible. Yeah.
We had these Ninja Turtle masks growing up when we lived in Anderson, and this nigga would never let me play with him and his friends. And so one time I wanted to play, he was like, apparently he made me go stand in a fire ant nest to play with them. And my mom came outside, saw me covered in ants. Apparently I was calm, so the ants weren't biting me, but she came outside and saw me covered in ants and started slapping them off me and screaming. And so I tensed up.
And then the ants started biting you.
Yeah. So I had a swollen ass arm and leg. She was like, why are you doing it? I was like, because John said I couldn't play with them unless I stood in the fire. I was like 2. And I was tripping because it was the Donatello mask too. Like, who wants to be Donatello?
Yeah.
First movie my dad ever took me to was Three Ninjas, and I was running up and down the aisle hitting the. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of us, like late 20s, early 30s people, we were exposed to so much ninja shit. Like, I'm pretty sure in kindergarten, I probably said I wanted to be a ninja at some point. He's the best. No, Chuck, no, he is not. Donatello is not the best.
No, he's not.
I've never heard
not the best.
Nobody had that take ever.
I got a homeboy who is a huge Donatello fan. He's the first person I've ever, like, most people say Raph, and then you get some Mikey, and then like you get the snitches that say Leo, but you rarely hear Donatello. Even though I probably relate most to Donatello, but most people don't say Donatello's their favorite. Like, come on now. Like, it's and someone asked on the timeline the other day which turtle could beat up the other 3, and everybody was saying Raph, and I said Raph, but probably Leonardo. Yeah. Probably Leonardo. Like,
Leonardo or
Raph. Raph is the best fighter out of all of them. Like, one-on-one, he's probably beating his brothers easy, but all you got to do is piss that nigga off and he loses focus. Every time you see him fight multiple opponents, his anger
washed up,
and he ends up getting his ass beat. Like, he started off beating all their asses, but he like is so prone to rage and just fighting. Like, he tires himself out, and they end up getting the best of him because all he want to do is fist fight. It ain't no game plan. He just want to go in and brawl with niggas. Is what it is. I love Raphael. It's my favorite turtle, but it's probably Leonardo. Because Leonardo gets brainwashed by Shredder and beats his brother's asses. Pretty handily. So there's evidence to suggest.
Also, read the last Ronin if you haven't.
Yes. Like, the last Ronin. Whew, I wonder if I can let somebody borrow that, because if I can, Chaz, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, like I said, last 5 pages, like, I just better than anything I've read all year.
Right about who it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, well, we had 2 guesses, but
And the reveal is the way they pull the reveal off is just
Yes.
It's the first like book of that, like the first chapter or whatever of it.
yeah.
Of
Yeah.
it.
The
Now I
second
get
one.
on Comixology. I just download that shit.
Well, they ain't got
Yeah,
it
the
for free.
No, I'll just pay for it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I say the second book about to drop, right?
December
already.
13th, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, December 13th, I think is the date. So, which, yeah, it's one of my niece's birthdays. But yeah, so yeah, it's coming out then. But yeah, the reveal was masterful. I love the fact that they obscured the identity so well. Even though, like, once you get it and you go back and read, you can tell which.
Then it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's, without being too spoilery, during the book, he's infiltrating something and his brothers are talking to him. So when you go back, like once they reveal it and you go back and read, you can tell which brother's saying what. And they show them, but their mask colors are all obscured. And even at the end, he has every single one of their mask colors that he's holding. So he's
carrying he's carrying like the broken weapons as well. So you don't really know until that big reveal, and you're like, no, because I went back and read it like as soon as the reveal, and I was like, oh, it made sense the entire time. So yeah, it's masterful.
But yeah, super masterful. Like I said, I initially, like, they kind of do this in the IDW run. Yeah, but yeah, Joe says Donatello was the best to use in the first NES game. And yeah, like Donatello's probably the most balanced turtle. Like as far as smarts, he has a ranged weapon. He can also do damage close range. He's a good fighter on his own. And if you get him pissed off, he's shown he can fuck you up. But it takes a while for him to get there. Like he mostly wants to fight. And Mikey, I mean, they're all good fighters. But yeah, the answer to that is probably Leo. But yeah, if you haven't read The Last Ronin, please read that. Like that is like fucking insane. And I got to go to my comic shop the day that shit dropped to buy that, because when I went in there, they told the local one to me, they told me, they was like, they laughed at me. I was like, yo, y'all got, I went like a week after it dropped. I was like, y'all got The Last Ronin? It was like, no, we sold out of that as soon as we opened. I was like, oh, well, excuse me, nerd guy. I just was asking a question. I didn't know that Cats was around here like going hard for the Ninja Turtles like that. My bad.
Yeah, we still out here. Yeah.
Like, so Chuck, if you haven't read the IDW run, like Donnie's portrayal in that is very interesting. He's actually like the Donatello is either Laird or Eastman's favorite turtle, right?
One says Laird. Don't make me lie to you though.
Well, I'm saying like it's Donnie and Raph that are the two favorites, right? Okay, so yeah. Donnie's, I know one of them is involved with the IDW run, but if you haven't read the IDW run, like check it out. Like I'm in the middle, I got to get back to reading it. I'm in the middle of reading volume 5 right now, and again, masterful work. Like the turtles are reincarnations of Japanese ninjas who were killed as kids by the Shredder. Like them and their father reincarnate into the bodies of Splinter and the 4 turtles in order to take on Shredder in modern times. And yes, Shredder has been alive since like the 1600s or some shit like that. So very, very well written. But yeah, we got anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well, we'll be back on Sunday for the Mandalorian recap. Watch Fargo if you haven't.
Oh yeah, the previous episode, man.
I still gotta watch. I know what happened, but I still gotta watch.
And once again, you know, like I like go film geek sometime, but they shoot this video and they shoot this entire episode in black and white, and something happens at the end that can only make sense in Fargo. I'm not gonna say what it is. It's because it would be ridiculous if I said it out loud, but it's fire. Oh yeah, Chuck, the Leftovers. The Leftovers is a good show too. But yeah, Fargo's right. This past episode of Fargo is amazing.
Yeah, Fargo has been absolutely insane. I got to go back and rewatch because I feel like this episode sets up Bokeem and reading what happened. Check that out. Watch The Mandalorian if you haven't. I'm probably going to start streaming on Twitch soon, doing music shit. So if you're interested in that, let me know or follow me on Twitch. 4 Eyes. Yeah, you got anything to plug, Fee?
Follow me on Twitch. About to go live shortly. Playing 2K21 on PS5. On my demigod power forward. If you haven't seen him, I dunked on somebody. I put that shit on my Twitter yesterday. I literally put this nigga under the rim. If you want to see more content like that, follow me on Twitch at FeeBaby.
And him cussing niggas out, because that's probably what's going to keep you the most entertained. Is him yelling at niggas for helping and leaving their feet in the paint and missing shots and
giving up threes instead of giving up the two. You know, just real shit that you just shouldn't do.
Yeah.
So, fundamentals.
Yeah. I mean, I only play if they ever need like a fifth. So I rarely am on the other end of this treatment, but you know, interesting. Nonetheless, I don't know if we'll be back recording next week because I will be in Birmingham and I don't know when I am coming back home. Yeah, and he's probably back working again. So
yeah, work on Thanksgiving. So
yeah.
So yeah, I think it's safe to say that like basically all of our programs next week we're probably taking a week off, and we'll catch y'all the week after.
Yeah, basically. Don't count on us being here. Is what we're trying to say.
Right.
Yeah. Follow the KWC blog. Get you some merch. Follow us on Twitch. Again, we get you follow it. Let you pick something out from the store and send it to you. Cop some merch while you're at it. Log on to thekidswearcrowns.com. Follow the KWC blog. Follow our boy Chuck at @the_CSJR, even though he's not tweeting much right now. Follow Joe Code. Ron is back on Twitter under his own name, Ron_KWC. You know that nigga ain't been tweeting. You ain't been tweeting much, but
I mean,
yeah. I mean, catch us calling Trump a broke boy, and we don't pay for sabbaticals. Really, D. We got to get D ain't never making another Twitter, but catch D tweeting occasionally from the KWC account. But guess we'll see y'all in a couple weeks. 1